No, now I fixed everything. This is why I wanted to do a practice run yesterday, but to no avail. So what I had already said about 40 times previously while I was trying to get the stream working before, kind of just hanging out, man. Kind of just hanging out. There's a bit of a lag. So it's this weird thing where I'm like, hey, let's hang out. Let me know how you're doing, what's going on, where you're coming from. Christopher says got sound. That's cool. And then I have to kind of wait for that to happen. So, but anyways, we don't have to do this. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Simon says we don't have a game in North Carolina. Yeah, that sucks. So just so you know, I'm not planning on doing this through the whole game. I just kind of want to say, hey, what's up? Maybe one of these times we'll do a Packer game and we can kind of talk. But my son is so crazy. If it wasn't for my son, my daughters don't care at all. My wife doesn't care at all. And so I would, if it wasn't for him, I'd be like, dude, I'll just go hang downstairs. And I want it. So one of the things that I had said when I didn't have volume was that we got the new TV and we brought the little, basically a computer monitor downstairs. When that gets replaced and we get a basement TV, I kind of want to put the other TV in here so that I can do live streams and watch a game and that kind of stuff, and that'd be kind of cool. But that's a little ways out. And again, it's tough for Packer games. Maybe sometime, I don't know. Or I could just have my son pull up a little chair in here and we could watch it. But it's not going to be today. This is kind of just a little test thing. And for the most part, because I've already talked about this game from the perspective of my point of view in the podcast today, I'm kind of wanting to hear your point of view. So while I wait for those points of views to come in, what you're looking for, what you're excited about, what you're nervous about, where you're at, what you're doing, I've been kind of busy. I made stock tacos, also known as steak tacos, for lunch, and then I made a homemade chicken noodle soup, and then I made a fruit salad, which is delicious. Never made any of these things before except steak tacos. And then I'm gonna go make a chip dip for the game, and that's gonna be sweet. So that's my plans for the day. Did get done watching Justin Fields a little bit. And again, look, I think he's a good quarterback, man. I think he's going to be fine. But again, it's just one of those things where it's like, I wish I could just come down here and be like, look, Packer fans, I'm sorry, but the guy's kind of good. You know, there's nothing I can do. But that's not the case. Instead, I watched a very mediocre, borderline subpar performance from Justin Fields. And the internet is going absolutely out of their minds about how elite this guy is. It was a decent second half. He looked fine. But what do we know about the preseason? To start the game, a lot of the starters don't play, right? So he's kind of going up against a little bit of first team, but a whole lot of second team. He could not get a first down. The guy couldn't get a first down. So, yeah, not the most impressed I've ever been in my life. The offense looked horrible, and Justin Fields, you know, he threw a couple passes that could have been intercepted. There was a fumble, botched snap or handoff or whatever that was. It was brutal. But then when halftime rolls around, again, what do we know about preseason? That's when you put in the other guys, right? So instead of a little bit of first and some second, it's going to be second and third or third and fourth string players. And yeah, Justin Fields had no pressure. He had all day to throw, and the coverage was pretty terrible. He threw that one throw that easily could have been batted down or even picked off if the corner was paying attention. The corner was not paying attention, and so the guy caught it. He picked everybody apart, and he looked fine. I'm not saying he looked bad necessarily. I mean, the first part wasn't great, but there was nothing I watched where I was like, this guy's trash. It was just like, yeah, okay. I mean, that throw could have been better. That was a little ill-advised. He didn't seem to be going through his progressions very much. He kind of seemed to lock in. I noticed a couple times where he got three receivers to the right, never even looked to the right. He spent the whole time just staring down people on the left, like the one guy. That guy didn't get open, and he checked it down. A lot of check downs, and then obviously the guy can run, and he did a good amount of that as well. So I would say it was a mediocre, a decent performance. I mean, if this is your first time ever, fine. I had no intentions of coming on here and just roasting the guy at all. That was not at all my intention. But I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then Justin Fields, apparently his comment was, you know, compared to college, like this was a little slow. Yeah, because you played garbage players, I guess. I mean, I don't know, dude. It was fine, you know. It was probably below my expectations for Justin Fields, but according to everybody else, this is the greatest single performance we've ever seen from anybody. But it just kind of goes to show how ridiculous the media is, you know. They're so absurd with everything, and of course Bears fans are silly, but you can't be as mad at them. I mean, you'd like to see at least one Bears fan kind of be like, let's calm down a little bit. It was fine, but I was kind of hoping to be a little better. Like, the part where we could not get a first down until like 3 seconds left in the first half. That wasn't great, and Justin Fields played basically the entire game. So yeah, I thought he was so-so, but I was not overly, massively, crazily impressed with that whole performance. Goose says, I'm really hoping to see Rodgers do some coaching up for Love. I hear you. I end up having to watch on my phone, even though that's the other thing. I got to check. I'm going to have to bounce, I don't know, probably pretty soon. Again, I just wanted to do a test and kind of say what up. I got to make sure I can even see the game, because when I tried to watch Family Night, they're like, oh yeah, that's blocked in your area. I pay for regular TV, dude. So I got to make sure that that's working so I don't have to watch a stupid game on my phone. But at least I can watch it. I won't complain to a bunch of out-of-state people. Simon says he hopes Love has a good outing. I do too. I just, so here's the whole Love thing is so aggravating. If he looks good, nobody's going to compliment him, right? If he does what Justin Fields does, I mean, if he looks about that good, everyone's going to say it was a subpar outing and nobody's going to say anything. Absolutely not. He's not going to get a bunch of praise for it. And if he looks bad, he's going to be just absolutely ripped to shreds. So there's no upside and it's all downside. He can't do anything right, and if he does anything even a little bit wrong, it's going to be the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of the world. Because again, the media can never be wrong. They said Justin Fields was great, so if he goes out there and plays decent, it was the greatest thing we've ever seen. Jordan Love was the worst draft pick in human history, though they cannot come out and say this is a good pick or he had a good day. It's just the thing. The internet is loving Fields and Clay Matthews. The Clay Matthews thing is so stupid. I don't understand it. I don't know. Like I said, I talked about it on the pod. I keep seeing it, and I just scroll past it. Like, I don't even engage with it because it's so silly. But people are really engaging with it. I can't do that. Goose says he looked pretty good, not great against the twos. He couldn't do a thing, but lit up the threes to build it right, and that's exactly my perspective on it. He was fine. There was nothing he did where I was like, dude, this guy's trash. That didn't happen. But there was also nothing I looked at was like, oh, dude, we are in so much trouble. It was fine. I don't know what else to say. Let's go Pack go. Glad you're doing this, Sean Gill. Again, I'm sorry sorry to let you all down. I'm going to be out of here pretty soon. I just wanted to pop in and say hi. It's a momentous occasion. I'm very excited to be able to watch a football game, watch a Packer game. And so I kind of wanted to just pop down here and be like, what up? And then goodbye. Simon says, agree. He looked fine. Nothing I thought was terrible or great. Pretty good for a first game. We will see. You can try Lowcast. I did do Lowcast, but I can't do Lowcast on my TV. I don't know why. I pulled it up on the browser, and it doesn't work. So I can't do it on my TV. So I that's what I did last time is me and my son watched it on Lowcast on my phone. So that kind of stinks. What kind of dip are you making? So I don't know what it's called. When I was a kid, they used to make a dip that was, I think it's like Velveeta and cream cheese and ground beef. That kind of evolved over the years. My family still makes it, but it's got all this junk in it now. And it's like, they act like this has always been the same dip. Like, this is what we always make. It's like, no, there was not peppers and tomatoes and all this garbage in it. You ruined this dip. It used to be amazing when I was a kid. So I'm going to try to recreate that. So I got ground beef, I got Velveeta cheese, and I got cream cheese. And I'll see what I can do with that and maybe have to try to build on it. I got different kinds of cheese and seasonings, and I don't know. We'll see what we can do. I don't know. AO Pack Daddy, regular season record. What's that mean? Faraz, real quick, we win in the Super Bowl this year? Yeah. Why not, dude? It's a preseason. We're winning the Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, I think, look, the way my brain works, the answer is no, just based on odds. Even if we have the best odds, we still have less than 50% chance. But do I think we have the best odds? Not according to Vegas. Do I think we have the best roster? I do think so. They got to find a way to not fall apart in crucial games and start playing like garbage. And I don't know how you fix that. It's like I said a long time ago, like when we actually lost to Tampa Bay within that week. The biggest problem the Packers have is that it's not an easily identifiable problem. Some teams, like, the Bears, look at their team, they're like, we just need a quarterback, which isn't true. But, you can point at a thing and say, that's what needs to get fixed. What do you do when you got the number one quarterback, number one corner, number one tackle, number one wide receiver, top 3 offensive line, top 5 running back? What else have we got? We got Tunyon, who led the league in touchdowns. You got Kenny and Za'Darius and Preston and Rashawn. And you got a top 3 for sure safety duo. What do you do when you have the best roster in football, but you just fall apart? The fans still want to point and say, well, if we just had a linebacker, no, that ain't it, man. We got the team. This is the Super Bowl team. The team that lost last year, that's your Super Bowl roster. They have to find out how to win with it. And I'm not saying you can't get guys to help, but it's not the guys. You got to find a way to win with this group. This is your group. Win a Super Bowl. I don't know what else to say. I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know what you do, but you got to figure it out, because these guys, they get to the NFC Championship game and they play terribly. The pass rush was non-existent. I mean, just on and on. The Buccaneers wrecked the Packers' offensive line worse than anybody else. So that's not a good excuse. Guys are just not playing up to the standard that they set all year. Did you see Mond at all? Played every bit as well as Fields? Not really. I caught just the tail end. We had our old neighbors from back in Madison came to visit, so we kind of paused the TV. Apparently, it's rude to watch football when you have visitors over, so we paused the TV and didn't engage. But I caught kind of the end of it. I think I saw one of his touchdowns. But yeah, I wouldn't doubt that at all. Posting a pod right after the game tonight. Break down Love's performance. So I don't think so. I think I'm going to do tomorrow morning. I would like to do it tonight, but it's 10 o'clock is late for me, man. I'm a 90-year-old man. 8 o'clock is typically my bedtime. I think last night I stayed up late just because I felt like it. It was a stressful day, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to wait for the kids to go to bed, and I'm just going to hang out with my phone for a while. I almost came down here and streamed, like just playing a video game just for fun, but I was like, nah. Got to be about 9:30, and I was like, I'm going to bed. So I'll probably do it tomorrow. Plus, the other good thing is it's good to kind of let it marinate, and you can kind of go on Twitter and get some perspective and kind of like, oh, yeah, that's a good point, and just kind of collect your thoughts a little bit. I've done some instant reaction stuff, and it's fine. It works out fine. But sometimes you say stuff, and the next morning it's like, look, I'm going to walk it back a little bit. So it's good to kind of let it simmer. And then breaking down Love's performance. Breaking down is a stretch for what I do, man. I'm not exactly that kind of guy. But yeah, I mean, I'll give my opinion on how I thought he did. Billy Morris says, bring in all of Rodgers' friends. What can go wrong? Yeah, I'm sensing the sarcasm, and I'm right there with you. I think that's kind of a silly strategy. But hey, I'm hopeful that Cobb can kind of help us out with some stuff. Tom says, hey, what up, man? What's going on? Game starts at 9 for me, ends at midnight. Yeah, that's rough, dude. That's no fun. Sometimes 1 a.m. So anyways, man, I think I'm caught up on the comments. Again, I just kind of wanted to say hi, and everybody, I looked on social media, and everybody's hanging out. All these creators and stuff are hanging out with their social media friends at the actual Lambeau field. Half of them are on the field, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go hang out with my friends for a minute. But anyways, everybody's back from the walk. I got to get the chips dip started. I got to get the game going. You can check me out on social media, though. I'll be sticking around, kind of throwing out a couple thoughts here and there, and if you want to send me a message, go ahead. But I do